Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Baseball is a game just filled with old-fashioned fun. Old-fashioned success. A team that's long been associated with winning gets back on its customary track by relying on traditional methods. Old-fashioned memories. Grand old players from the grand old game gather at Fenway for a fine cause and have a grand old time. Old-fashioned enthusiasm. An inspiring spirit is infused by an old-school practitioner in his new home of the Braves. Old-fashioned artistry. A fielding wizard first found fame with a classic play that went down in history. So get ready, folks, to revel in the thrill of it all right here on This Week in Baseball. Celebrating our 10th anniversary. American League Spotlight. In Boston, a brouhaha with Texas. When the Rangers rolled into town, they sent Jose Guzman to the mound for Game 1. Good move, because the 23-year-old rookie went the distance and allowed just one run to pick up win number 3. But next day, all signs pointed to Boston as the Red Sox squared the series by rapping out 11 hits and scoring 8 runs. 22-year-old Ray Quinones made his Major League debut against the Rangers, and he made it big, drilling 2 doubles, driving in a pair of runs, and scoring twice.
There's not a doubt in my mind that this young man can go out and play shortstop and do a very creditable job for us. What he hits will be a bonus. He got off the good start yesterday with the 2 doubles, and he has the ability. There's no question. It's just a matter of time, and this might be his time. If he plays, if he hits and holds his head above water, then there's going to have to be a decision made further on down the line.
Dennis Oil Can Boyd went the distance to collect win number 4. But the victory was marred by misfortune when a Boyd fastball hit Ranger catcher Don Slott in the face, breaking his nose and a bone in his cheek. Boyd was visibly upset and showed remorse afterward.
I'm not a headhunter out there, and I don't want to hurt nobody, and I was very sensitive to that, and it shook me up for a while, and it didn't go away throughout the ball game because I kept it in the back of my mind just simply because I care. It's a part of the game, true enough, you know, but I still feel like I owe the kid an apology, and regardless of what they say, well, you got to live with it and you got to die with it, and that's the price you pay, but that's not the price you pay. I wish you to get around the league where, you know, guys don't think that, hey, the Cans out there to hurt nobody because, hey, I don't want to hurt nobody.
In Game 3, the Red Sox suffered an injury of their own. Starting pitcher Al Nipper hurt his knee during a play at the plate in which he tagged out Larry Parrish. Surgery will keep Nipper on the sidelines for at least 6 weeks. But things still bounced right for Boston in the bottom of the 10th.
Curveball hit toward right field. George right over this one, and he cannot get it. It's a fair ball. Lyons going back to second. Barrett's on second base. Wright's running across the diamond, throws, and it is not in time. It goes in the dugout. Lyons comes on to score, and that will do it. The game is over. The Red Sox win.
Those are becoming familiar words, and they were true again next night when Minnesota's Ron Davis hit Mark Sullivan with a pitch to force in the winning run in the bottom of the 9th. Talk about a game-winning hit. In all, the Sox took 10 out of 13 to keep their hold on first place in the East. An inspiring note in that game, Joe Sambito pitched the 9th inning to get the win, his first in 5 years, making a distant memory of a serious arm injury that seemed certain to end his career.
I guess I always kept in my mind that I would be able to come back. As slim as my chances seemed as the time went by, you know, we went on and on. Months went by, and I said, gee, maybe I'm not going to make it back. But there was always that little ray of sunshine, that little hope that if I keep working hard enough and long enough, I might be able to find my way back, because other players had come back from this injury before. If you want something bad enough and you stick with it and you work hard enough, that eventually you'll get it.
On to Baltimore, where the Orioles have begun to take wing. The O's were searching for direction through the first 6 weeks of the season, but then they began to fly right. Eddie Murray helped them win 8 out of 9 games by batting above .380 and driving in 13 runs during that span, as the Orioles soared from 2 games out of last place in the East to within striking distance of first. Steady Eddie became Murray in a hurry.
High drive, deep right field. Back goes Canseco to the warning track, and it is gone!
Career grand slam number 14 for Murray. Among active players, second of the 15 by Oakland's Dave Kingman. Also confounding opposing pitchers has been designated hitter Larry Sheets, who batted near .350 during the Orioles surge with 9 RBIs. And over a 17-game span, he drove home 16 runs. The O's have been making big strides on the mound as well. Mike Boddicker appears back in the form that made him a 20-game winner 2 years ago. Last season, he won just 12 and lost 17. But this year, he's 4-1 with an ERA below 3. Oriole fans are also feeling mighty fine about Scott McGregor, who went the distance against Oakland for his 3rd win. In fact, the entire staff is on its way to restoring the faith.
I guess really when we looked at our ball club last year, which was a disappointing year by Orioles standards, we felt the problem was primarily with the starting pitchers. And yet when we looked at our starting pitchers, we found a group of guys who had been very successful in the past, relatively all young. The oldest pitcher in the starting group is Mike Flanagan, none of them having physical problems. So we felt that they could all be capable of coming back in 1986 and picking up where they had been before the '85 season. After all, we're talking about 20-game winners, Cy Young Award winners, and we really feel confident that they're going to revert back to their old form.
Veteran relief pitcher Don Ossie has never been in better form, emerging as Baltimore's bullpen stopper with 10 saves and a 0.95 ERA, both second in the league.
Well, he's a guy like Goose Gossage, you know. Now when he gets to his release point, he can throw the ball just as hard as Goose ever did, and he's intimidating at times. You know, weak hitters can't go up there and just think they're going to get an easy fastball to hit, because he's always throwing the ball 90 to 92 miles an hour, and they're going to have to be swinging the bat to catch up with him now.
Before long, the same might be said of the entire team. Now, let's open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's TWIB notes from around the American League. Second baseman Tony Phillips became the first player this year and first in Oakland history to hit for the cycle, a single, double, triple, and homer in one game. In all, Phillips went 5 for 5 in the win over Baltimore.
I'm a contact hitter, and, you know, my job is to hit the ball where it's pitched. And, you know, that last triple, the ball was inside, and I just happened to fight it off. You know, I just want to hit the ball hard. You know, I can't got him in there. And, yeah, I'm happy with the 5 hits and the cycle, too. You know, it's the first of my career, and I hope I get another one.
Shortly after Chicago's Carlton Fisk went back behind the plate, the White Sox went back to winning. They took 7 games in a row, and Pudge caught 6 of them, batting almost 400 with 7 RBIs and back-to-back game-winning hits. It could mean the end of his left field experiment. Blue Jay Jesse Barfield has become one bright note in Toronto's troublesome start. The Jays took 3 straight from Cleveland, and in the first 2 games, Barfield went 5 for 9 with 10 RBIs. Still, last year's Eastern Division champions were mired in last place. And now it's time for this week's quiz, brought to you by Nissan, builders of high-quality cars and trucks for over 50 years. New York Yankee Rickey Henderson leads the majors with 29 steals, and he recently stole career base number 600. Just 27, he's the youngest player in history to reach that plateau. The all-time record of 938 career steals is held by Hall of Famer Lou Brock. But now, for this week's quiz, can you name the man who was caught stealing the most times in one season? Stay tuned for an A1 player. National League report. In Atlanta, the Braves joined the chase in the West. Manager Chuck Tanner is known for his infectious enthusiasm, and in his first year with the Braves, it appears to be rubbing off as Atlanta won 6 straight games.
I want them to come out here and have fun like they did when they were in high school or American Legion ball or in college. I mean, we're going to have fun. We're going to work hard. It's a whole new era. It's Bobby Cox and Chuck Tanner have been given this opportunity, and we don't have a plan. We don't have a 10-year plan or a 5-year plan. Our plan is to do everything we can right now to make us be contenders and to make us go on and get into the World Series. That's our goal.
Rick Mailer's goal was to get a win, and he did just that with a complete Game 4 hitter that kept slumping St. Louis in the doldrums in the opener of a 3-game series. Atlanta's commander on the mound the next day was Joe Johnson, who tossed 8 innings of shutout ball and gave up only 3 hits, getting the win to go 5-3. Bob Horner provided all the offense, a game-winning double in the bottom of the 8th that drove home both Atlanta runs. But the Braves could not relax until Bruce Sutter set down St. Louis by striking out 2 in the 9th and collecting his 3rd save. Next day, the Braves had sweep on their mind and Zane Smith on the mound, and he helped make it happen by going 7 innings and getting win number 4. Once again, Bob Horner supplied the power, blasting 2 home runs in 1 game for the 25th time in his career, the 43rd player in history with at least 2 homers in a game at least 25 times. As for the Braves, back above 500 and climbing. Next up, Los Angeles, where the Mets met their match against the Dodgers. New York was going through its first mini slump of the season, and Tommy Lasorda's Dodgers wanted to keep it that way. Orel Hershiser went 9 innings in Game 1, striking out a career-high 10 batters, but he could not get the decision. The Mets countered with their always imposing ace, Dwight Gooden, who tossed 8 innings and struck out 7. But he also got no decision because the game went into the 11th inning. With 1 out, Lasorda went to his bench and called on veteran Bill Russell to pinch hit against reliever Jesse Orosco, who had not allowed a run in 18 2/3 innings. But with a man on third, that streak was in danger.
There goes the run of the squeeze. It's going to be successful. Will it roll foul? No, the Dodgers win it 4-3.
Los Angeles won again next day, but in the finale, George Foster prevented a sweep by slamming 2 home runs. That gave him 23 at Los Angeles in his career, the most by any opposing player in Dodger Stadium history. Now, let's review this week in baseball's twib notes from around the National League. San Francisco reliever Jeff Robinson is one reason why the Giants are fighting for first place in the West. Against the Phillies, he got save number 4 with 6 strikeouts in 3 2/3 innings. And overall, he'd set down 32 in less than 28 innings. It's still early, but Hubie Brooks of Montreal is on a possible Triple Crown course. Brooks was leading the league in homers with 10, RBIs with 32, and was second in batting with an average near .350.
When there's men on base and there's a close game, you want to pull it out. And I think it becomes mental when you're preparing yourself to hit on the on-deck circle what the situation is going to be, and you're prepared when you step in the batter's box to approach the situation correctly. I think you have to be aggressive all the time, or else the guy out there is going to be more aggressive than you are, and he's going to beat you.
Now, let's find out the answer to this week's Nissan quiz. When Rickey Henderson played for Oakland, he set the single-season record for steals with 130 in 1982. But that same year, he also set the mark for most times caught stealing with 42 in one season. That adds up to 172 steal attempts, also a record. His career stolen base success ratio is almost 80%. Hey, fans, you know sometimes playing baseball is like going fishing. Send out your line and see what you catch. Or see if you catch, or just see. You see what I mean? But hey, don't go overboard, because if you keep your eye on the ball, you just might catch the one that got away. Of course, you got to watch out for those waves. Reel it in, man, because you get our vote for making the catch of the day. Now, how about some catches of the week, courtesy of big league sharks in the field who know how to handle a ball that's been cast. First up, Philadelphia's Steve Jeltz. Detroit's Alan Trammell to Lou Whitaker. Another Tiger twosome, Darnell Coles to Darrell Evans. New York Yankee Mike Pagliarulo. Chicago Cub Sean Dunston. Atlanta's Billy Sample. California's Darryl Miller. San Francisco's Chili Davis. Kansas City's Frank White. The Braves again with Bob Horner. Cincinnati's Pete Rose coming home to Sal Butera. St. Louis Cardinal Mike Heath. A giant encore with Chris Brown getting down. Then up and over to Robbie Thompson, who gets two by sending it on to Will Clark. Finally, Seattle Mariner Jim Presley knocks it down. Spike Owen picks it up, and all that's left is a sweet scoop by Alvin Davis. Over and out. What's this? Hall of Famer Ted Williams back in his old Boston uniform and back at Fenway Park? Yes, indeed, and with good reason. He and a host of former big league greats gathered at Fenway for a very special affair, the first in a series of 26 old-timer games to be played throughout the season. The benefits will go to indigent former major leaguers, all being sponsored by The Equitable.
This is such a great program that, you know, everybody jumped at the opportunity, and this is not like any other old-timers game per se, but this is old-time ball players doing something to help indigent old-timers. And it's a great feeling that we get that we're doing something about it, and I think the bottom line is old-time ball players breaking their butt out here to put on a show to help others like themselves.
Welcome back, old-timer. Lace up your spikes one more time. Tip your hat and cross that line. Show these kids that you still aren't through. Come on and show everybody what an old-timer like you still can do.
Fenway fans were delighted to see former Red Soxer Rico Petrocelli crush a home run in the game. And like the song says, welcome back, old-timer.
These are the people that love me when I was in Boston.
You better believe it.
Now it's This Week in Baseball's 10th anniversary flashback, brought to you by Gatorade. Let's flash back to 1978. Ozzie Smith was a 23-year-old San Diego rookie in '78, and against Atlanta, he made an amazing barehanded play that helped him earn his nickname, the Wizard of Oz.
Anytime I go 5 or 6 feet to my left or right, the first thing that comes to mind is dive. And on that particular play, after I'd gone 5 or 6 steps to my left, I saw that I was going to have to dive at the ball, and as I dove, the ball hit a rock and came back this way. My glove hand was gone, so the only way that I was going to be able to get it and hopefully make a play was with my bare hand. In that instance, it all worked out very well for me, and that the ball could have done a lot of things. It could have bounced off of my finger, but the ball hit and stuck in the palm of my hand. I was able to get up and throw him out.
Ozzie has long since established himself as one of the most dazzling fielders in Major League history. He holds the record for most assists by a shortstop in one season with 621 in 1980. And he shares the mark of 6 consecutive seasons with at least 500 assists. In 1982, Ozzie brought his act to St. Louis, where he's been the heart of one of baseball's best defenses. But of all his brilliant plays, the barehander sticks out.
That probably rates right at the top. You know, I think that's one of those chance plays, and I feel that was probably the one play that really opened a few people's eyes as far as Ozzie Smith was concerned. It all came together. It all worked. You know, there were so many other things that could have gone wrong, but it all worked.
The Whiz works in wondrous ways. That's all for now, folks, but see you next week on This Week in Baseball.
It's Baseball Thrills live from Cleveland Stadium when the Indians battle the Boston Red Sox, Tuesday night at 7:30 on WUAB. The Herb Score Sports Show is next on Channel 43.